Digging out. The day after the big snow, we're following through with team coverage across Hampton roads.
Snow and more snow.
Our reporters are fanned out covering how the community is coming together as the cleanup starts.
WTKR News 3 at noon starts now.
Hello, and thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. I'm Erin Miller.
And I'm Blaine Stewart. We're going to check in with Anthony Sabella later in this newscast. Part of our continuing first warning storm team coverage of the snow that is still falling out there. If you joined us yesterday at noon, remember we showed you these camera feeds from across the area, Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Chesapeake, and Chesapeake Bay, and the camera at the College of William and Mary. At the time, the snow had just started falling. Williamsburg saw a little more action. And of course, now, well, a different world. Those same cameras, as we give you a live look right now, there is the snow.
Yeah, can you spot the difference? I think there's some white stuff out there that is going to have an impact on what we are seeing on the ground. And let's check in with Miles now as one system fades and another one moves in.
Most of the heavy stuff rolled out late last night, early this morning, but we have kind of a round two, some leftovers that are working through right now. And you see that stripe of white here right over Hampton roads in northeastern North Carolina. Zooming in closer, seeing some of our heavier snow through areas like Greenbrier and Chesapeake, towards Indian River and Virginia Beach. And some pretty moderate to heavy snow as you get back towards the Great Dismal Swamp there in Chesapeake to Suffolk. That stripe of heavier snow through Gates County, just north of Ahoskie, and then continuing back to the west there. Some lighter snow flurries working in towards Elizabeth City and Hertford. So that's going to roll through here as we go through the midday afternoon hours to see that area of snow just kind of trucking to the east here. After that, things pretty quiet. So this is kind of one final push of snow showers to add a little bit more on top of what we already have, maybe an extra tenth to a half inch, and that'll be about it. Outside of the snow, it is cold and windy. 26 on the peninsula, 28 south side, 30 in North Carolina, and you see that northwest wind cranking up. We'll talk about some wind chills in the teens and single digits coming up in just a few minutes.
We'll see in a few miles. Now to the big stories of the day. While a lot of us were trying to avoid the snow, emergency crews were hard at work over the past several hours. Pictures coming in from the Chesapeake Fire Department on your screen of a house fire late last night on Plantation Lakes Circle as the snow was falling. Some intense flames and smoke there. Took crews more than 3 hours to get this fire out. Thankfully, the 8 people who live there are okay. Red Cross is helping them this afternoon as firefighters try to figure out how that started. Let's turn our attention now to North Carolina, where so many parts of the Tar Heel state, including Elizabeth City, now remain under a blanket of snow. Several inches of snow, in fact.
Of the first places we saw the snow coming down yesterday, Will Thomas, our Outer Banks reporter, is out there for us now. So, Will, good afternoon to you. What are you seeing?
Well, good afternoon. I mean, when Blaine said that the snow was still falling, I was like, not here. And then I looked over to my right, and it very much is starting to fall again here. But we want to give you guys a look at kind of what the roads look like right now. And I mean, this is kind of what it looks like across Elizabeth City in general. And I mean, that's not surprising here, at least on the secondary roads, as crews are focusing on the primary roads. But we've captured a lot of, what we've seen over the past 24 hours or so, and at least this morning, and we're going to show you what we've seen this morning right now. And in downtown Elizabeth City, the dig-out process has begun, as people we spoke with say this is the most significant snowfall they've seen in years, especially twice in the span of a month. But they say it's time to move on and start the process of getting back to normal. That's the mentality down here, as one business owner has been shoveling his own sidewalk and other business owners as well. Getting started is important for him with the thought in mind of snowfall we might see this afternoon, well, honestly right now, and being able to open his doors again this week. And for that business owner we spoke with, his hopes are potentially to open today because the foot traffic is how these businesses stay afloat. But he says as we see kind of what rolls in now, he'll kind of play it by ear today, and, hopefully he can potentially open his doors tomorrow. Live in Elizabeth City, Will Thomas, WTKR News 3.
Stay warm out there. Want to take us to Virginia Beach now, to be exact.
Yeah, News 3 reporter John Hood looks like he's having the time of his life with that snow flying right in his face. John, I know you just wrapped up talking with some city leaders. What are you learning out there right now?
Well, yeah, hey, Blaine and Aaron. Well, yeah, we're out here on Public Works in Virginia Beach, right off of Dam Neck Road. We've been driving around this morning, checking out some of the roads like Princess Anne. They look pretty clear, but still very slushy. We did speak with Public Works, like you said, just about 20 minutes ago. They're giving us an update on what roads are looking like. They say that they're real pleased with the work that crews have made so far. Road conditions are still pretty hazardous, though, but they are making good progress. They've been able to clear a majority of the Priority 1 routes, like Princess Anne Road, Virginia Beach Boulevard. They expect to transition to Priority 2 routes later today, like Salem Road and parts of London Bridge Road. Public Works is expecting another half-inch of snowfall. As you can tell, it's coming down right now here in Virginia Beach today, but they don't believe that will impact how they are treating the roads later on today. Now, I know a lot of people are probably out shoveling their driveways this morning or are going to do it this afternoon. Again, here in Virginia Beach, the city does not plow or treat the secondary roads or your neighborhood just because of how hazardous it could be for their crews, as well as the amount of streets there are in Virginia Beach. So just something you want to take into account for. I have a couple of friends who had to go to work today, so if you have to drive, just be extra careful. Even though the roads do look clear, they are still kind of hazardous. So just be careful if you're out there on the roads. And we're going to give you an update later today at 4 o'clock on what the roads are looking like and how people are reacting to more snow. But for now, live in Virginia Beach, I'm John Hood, WTKR News 3.
A good reminder there, John. Thanks so much. Hey, this afternoon, the big message from state leaders and state police: stay off the roads. They are all sharing that same sentiment. As of last night, troopers have responded to more than 700 incidents, investigating nearly 200 crashes, and have reported 10 injuries. They tell us most of the incidents were drivers who lost control of their cars or their vehicles just because they were going too fast for the slick conditions. In general, VDOT and NCDOT want fewer folks on the road so they can get them plowed and treated faster.
The sooner people stop driving and the roads are clear for just us, then we can actually be a little more productive and get the roads clear.
Are you concerned about the snow or weather?
Yeah, my oldest son just got into a car accident, and I got to go pick him up now. So it's hectic out here. You got to be careful being out here.
Absolutely. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope he's okay. Is he okay?
Yeah, he's fine. He's at the Sweet Frog right now.
So again, if you do have to be on the roads, just give yourself and all the crews around you and the other drivers ample room. You want to make sure that you're not rushing.
Yeah, get out of the way of the plows, and that way they can do their job and clear things up. Our live storm team coverage continues here on News 3 at noon.
Yeah, this is Kelsey Jones. This is Kelsey Jones here in Newport News on Jefferson Avenue. If you take a look here at the roads, it is not pretty. So in just a few minutes, I'll tell you what is the latest road conditions looking like here in Newport News.
You're watching WTKR News 3, part of the Scripps News Group.
Now at noon, a weekend of remembrance beginning in just a few hours. 2 officers killed in the line of duty. How the public will be able to say goodbye tonight. Then, new leadership named to one of the Navy's top roles, and it's a familiar face. The new position for former U.S. Senate candidate Hung Cao, and why the president says the Virginia politician is the right fit for the job. And later, music returns to the oceanfront. Reporter Angela Bohan takes us inside the new Dome project in Virginia Beach.
And we are taking a look at the progress as it happens. We'll give you a tour, a sneak peek of everything, including some pretty cool, unique features.
WTKR News 3 at noon starts now.
Yes, plenty we are following as we come on the air this afternoon. First, good afternoon. My name is Anthony Sabella. So glad you're choosing to start your afternoon here with us. Before we get to those stories, we do have breaking news we got to tell you about coming out of Chesapeake. Just about 20 minutes ago, we learned first responders pulled a 3-year-old girl from the water at Oak Grove Lake Park. News 3's Danielle Seda is there on the scene right now and just spoke with police. She's joining us live from the park. And Danielle, what are you learning from officers right now?
There was about an hour search.
Hey, Anthony. So I got here a little while ago, and when I spoke to police, this is what they told me. So this behind you, this is Oak Grove Lake Park, and what happened this morning is that a mother was here with her 3-year-old daughter playing. The mother took her eyes off her child for a few minutes, and then she was missing. So then immediately fire and police came out here to try and help with search efforts. By the time I got here, just after 11:30, I could see an ambulance go all the way down this road where that park was, and then I saw someone being moved into the ambulance before driving away. Now, police did tell me that the child was found in the water. She was in medical distress when they found her. No word of who exactly pulled her out, but it was definitely one of the response teams. That's what police told me. Right now, that child has been rushed to the hospital. And that's all we know about this little girl. We don't know her name. We don't know how she came to go into the water. We don't know if there's foul play associated here. Right now, this is an open investigation. So Leo Kaczynski with the Chesapeake Sheriff's Police Department told me that anything is possible right now. Nothing's off the table, and they're continuing to investigate. But the number one thing that they're doing right now is making sure that that little girl is okay.
All right, thank you so much, Danielle, there live from Oak Grove Lake Park in the Greenbrier section of Chesapeake. Popular park there right off of Battlefield Boulevard. Certainly lots more information to come out throughout the afternoon. We'll count on Danielle to update us later today on News 3, and you can get updates here with the free News 3 app as well. This story, we will continue to update it on our website as it develops. All right, turning now to how things are shaping up outside, turning out to weather. You know, this is something that impacts all of us, and we're staring down a pretty nice end to the work week, which is something you like to see at this point. You can see a beautiful shot there live over the Virginia Beach ocean front. If you've got weekend plans, something to keep in mind is we're looking at a pretty big temperature swing, as we were talking about this morning. Meteorologist Miles Henderson joining us once again with details first on how Friday afternoon is looking.
Yeah, beautiful view out there. Lots of sunshine, just a few of those fair weather clouds in the mix. Still a bit breezy. Those west and northwest winds have been in that 10 to 15 range much of the morning. But temperatures more what you'd expect for the last day of February. We're at 54 on the peninsula, 56 for the south side, 58 in North Carolina. Pretty quiet here across Virginia and North Carolina as far as any cloud cover or precipitation goes. We're sitting pretty with sunshine through the afternoon. Those winds will continue to relax and turn more to the south as we go to this evening, still with clear skies even as we go through the overnight. So look at the rest of today. Lots of sunshine. We'll head to the mid and upper 50s, pretty close to our normal for this time of year. Lower 50s by this evening, dipping into the upper 40s as we go towards the overnight. And again, those winds will turn a little bit more to the southwest and south as we go into tonight. This weekend, big temperature swing I'm watching, and we'll look ahead to our next rain chance coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, turning our attention now back on Chesapeake, we're going to get answers in a suspicious death that was reported along a local interstate. Virginia State Police say the call came in about 5:30 last night, right during rush hour traffic. State Police say this death, again, happened in Chesapeake on the ramp to get on westbound I-64 from northbound Greenbrier Parkway. VDOT and Chesapeake Police, we know, were also on the scene responding, but state police still are not saying too much this afternoon, only that there is no threat or danger to the public. We do want to know why this death is considered suspicious, though, and are reaching out for more details. As soon as those come in, we will pass them along to you here on News 3 and on WTKR.com. In North Carolina, 2 local men are facing charges this afternoon, one for child trafficking after a missing 15-year-old girl was found safe in Dare County. This was a statewide search that police say started in Harnett County, which is south of Raleigh, closer to Fayetteville. The Harnett County Sheriff says 2 men, Elihu Mahler from Virginia Beach and Austin Cole from Kitty Hawk, were arrested and charged with kidnapping and human trafficking. Again, working to learn more information on this when we'll pass along updates as we get them here on News 3 and on the News 3 app, a story we were working on this afternoon. And now there's a story we are continuing to work on into its second week now, saying goodbye to 2 Virginia Beach police officers killed in the line of duty a week ago now. A public visitation for officers Cameron Gervin and Christopher Reese begins at 6 o'clock tonight in Virginia Beach. It'll be held for both officers at the Altmeyer Funeral Home location off Witch Duck Road near I-264. This visitation goes until 9 o'clock if you'd like to attend. Tomorrow, there will be a joint memorial service scheduled for both officers at Rock Church in Virginia Beach. That's just down the street on Kempsville Road. That one starts at 2 in the afternoon. Police say they chose this location because the church can hold up to 5,000 people. We know Attorney General Jason Miyares for Virginia. He says he plans to attend the memorial service. Other political representatives are expected as well. As you can imagine, there will also be a pretty large police presence around the church supporting the officers, their families, and their fellow officers with beach police. If you plan on being in that area of the beach Saturday, expect to see a lot of traffic. WTKR News 3 is planning to have special coverage of tomorrow's memorial service. It'll be right here on WTKR News 3, also streaming on WTKR.com and the News 3 app. Okay, to the military watch now, where we are learning a former candidate for one of Virginia's U.S. Senate seats now has a new role in Navy leadership. Hung Kao posted this screenshot on X, formerly known as Twitter, showing a Truth Social post from President Donald Trump. And in the message, the president says Kao will be the United States' next Under Secretary of the Navy. Kao served in combat as a special operations officer for 25 years, according to the president's post. The retired Navy captain recently lost to Virginia's U.S. Senator Tim Kaine in the 2024 election cycle. Kaine won re-election again just a couple of months ago. In Richmond, Virginia's Governor Glenn Youngkin announced a new executive order directing state police to help with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement removal and operations. VSP and the Department of Corrections were directed to sign agreements with ICE, deputizing state officers to support this federal effort. As part of the order, a task force within state police would be dedicated to the identification and apprehension of undocumented immigrants, and corrections officers would be trained and assigned as designated immigration officers. The executive order says a substantial number of the detainees are violent criminals, and the agreement also allows for the use of multiple detention and processing facilities all throughout the Commonwealth. However, the Virginia Coalition for Immigrant Rights responded to Youngkin's order, saying it pushes dangerous stereotypes and sows division. All right, turning now to a live look at the James River Bridge this afternoon. If you were watching us earlier this morning, we told you the bridge was going to temporarily close today, but we now know that's actually going to happen next week. So keep this in mind. March 7th is when the northbound lanes from Isle of Wight County to Newport News will close for repair work on the bridge's grid deck. We will share more details on alternate routes as that closure approaches, but just wanted to make that clarification today at noon. And still ahead on News 3 at noon, we're getting a behind-the-scenes look at the new innovative venue coming to the Virginia Beach oceanfront. It is the return of the Dome. Well, it's the brand new and approved Dome at Atlantic Park. Our first look from inside the ongoing project. That's coming up. We'll see you then.
You're watching WTKR News 3, part of the Scripps News Group.
Two teens now charged in connection to a violent fight at a high school basketball game. Reporter John Hood is live digging into what happened, the questions he's working to answer this afternoon as the school board prepares to meet later today. Plus, our News 3 team dug back through our original reporting all the way back to 2006, learning the suspect in this weekend's deadly officer shooting has had previous shooting charges. We pour through what we already know about John McCoy III. And an exciting update out of Virginia Beach. We're digging into the state alcohol license applications to learn which fan-favorite grocery store is coming to Town Center.
WTKR News 3 at noon starts now.
Hello, and thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. I'm Erin Miller in for Anthony Sabella. We are starting right away with new details out of Virginia Beach on a story that we first told you about last week when Kempsville High School forfeited 2 of its boys' basketball games after a fight broke out at their game last Monday against Salem High School. Now we know 2 teens have been charged for that fight. I want to bring in reporter John Hood, who is live near Kempsville High School for us. So, John, what do you know about this?
Yeah, hey Aaron. Well, this morning I heard back from Virginia Beach Police. They tell me that 2 16-year-olds have been charged with unlawful wounding of another. Now, we did have video from that basketball game here at Kempsville High School from last Monday. In it, you can see a push happen and another player fall to the ground. That player gets back up and he pushes, and then a brawl begins with players falling to the ground and arms swinging. Now, we've stopped the video right before a player who did appear to be throwing his arms gets stomped on by another. We're not showing it, but you could later see that player seem to begin to seize. As a result of what happened last week, Kempsville forfeited that game as well as their next game. However, the team does play this evening. I did reach out to the school division last week about that fight, but was told they will not be commenting about it any further. They did send out a statement last week saying the school division will use the full extent of the code of conduct to discipline the students involved. Now, back out here live, I was told that student who was injured in that game has been released from the hospital and is recovering. We're going to work more to find more information about what happened and what school leaders are saying. We'll have more information for you later on the evening newscast. For now, live in Virginia Beach, I'm John Hood at WTKR News 3.
John, thank you so much for that live report. And while we're talking about this topic, this is not the first time that Kempsville has forfeited games following allegations of tensions on its teams. In May, the high school boys varsity baseball team forfeited the rest of its season after the school opened an investigation into allegations of racism, hate speech, and harassment. You can find more on that story on WTKR.com. But right now, I want to switch gears and take a live look outside for you this afternoon. A beautiful Virginia Beach oceanfront. Look at the sunny skies, waves crashing on the sand, too. Meteorologist Miles Henderson is here with us now. You know me, and you know how I love the warmer temperatures.
And we are climbing into the 60s this afternoon, already up to 65 on the south side, 63 for the peninsula in North Carolina. A little bit of a southwest breeze there, but that's just helping to bring up some of that warmer air moving in. Satellite radar pictures showing some clouds, kind of a hazy sunshine out there, but still a nice day. You see some rain showers to our west. They've been falling apart as they work their way across central Virginia, so not much concern there. We'll see a few bonus clouds through the afternoon into the early evening, but overall pretty quiet second half of the day. Going through this evening and tonight with mainly clear skies. So this afternoon, most of us will head into the mid and even a few upper 60s out there. Low 60s for this evening, headed back down through the 50s into the 40s overnight. So still a chilly overnight for us, but not as cold as the past couple of nights. We'll talk about how long this warm stretch will stick around, and I'll look ahead to our next rain chance coming up in just a few minutes.
Tonight, the Virginia congressional delegation is gathered on the House floor to pay our respects to Virginia Beach Police Department officers Cameron Gervin and Christopher Reese.
Virginia congressmen and women taking a moment last night to honor those two Virginia Beach police officers who were shot and killed late Friday night. Representative Jen Kiggins, who you just heard from, led the delegation, saying our community will be forever grateful for their sacrifice. The community, as you can imagine, still in shock after what happened Friday night. Officer Cameron Gervin and Christopher Reese, their photos here behind me, were killed during what the police chief says was a routine traffic stop. According to police, they pulled a 42-year-old man over for expired plates when he became combative with officers before shooting both of them. We are told that man then ran off and turned the gun on himself. We dug into our archives and we found that this is not the first time that we have covered an armed incident involving John McCoy III, the man that police confirmed was involved in this incident. They have also now confirmed to News 3 that he is the man that you see here in a news story on News 3 from 2006. A then 24-year-old John McCoy III being searched for by police after opening fire on a vehicle and placing the passenger in critical condition. And that's not all we have learned about McCoy's criminal history. You can look for continuing coverage starting tonight on News 3. In other news later today, Norfolk Police Chief Mark Talbot is expected to give the city leaders an update on crime in 2024. The numbers will look at Chief Talbot's first full calendar year at the helm with him in charge of the city. He started as Norfolk's top cop in June of 2023. Norfolk City Council will get that update at 3:30 this afternoon. And then after that update, City Council will also be getting updates on the new Maury High School. These are some of the newest renderings that we got last month. The Architectural Review Board looked at some of the plans about 2 weeks ago. The construction team told us then that they hope to start construction next year and wrap up in 2028. New details now on another big project happening in Town Center in Virginia Beach. You may have noticed the changes in the works where the old Bed Bath & Beyond used to be. It was closed when the retailer filed for bankruptcy in 2023. Now, as we have previously told you, we found out that that space was being turned into a grocery store and a sporting goods store. Well, now we're getting a better idea exactly what is going to be there. We poured through the recent alcohol license applications in that area and learned that Trader Trader Joe's has applied for an ABC license at that exact address. Now, just to clarify, we still don't have formal confirmation that this is the grocery store coming to Town Center, but this is a pretty good indication of what may be on the way. We already told you in January that the sports store heading that way will be a Golf Galaxy. We, of course, will continue to follow up on this story as we learn more that's available to be shared with the public. And right now on the military watch off the coast of Greece, the Norfolk-based USS Harry S. Truman is back in service. This comes weeks after the carrier was involved in a collision with a merchant ship near an Egyptian port. We're told nobody was hurt on either vessel, but shortly after it happened, the Truman's commanding officer, Captain Dave Snowden, was relieved of duty. The Navy says the change in leadership will not affect the ship's mission schedule. We are told the Forward Deploy Regional Maintenance Center was able to complete repairs in just about 5 days, an accomplishment that Center Command credits to the hard-working staff who really made it an all-hands effort. The Navy says the Truman crew is already back at it, completing routine flight operations.
Study after study has shown that too much time on social media is hurting our kids.
Virginia leaders taking action to protect kids on social media. We're looking into the newly passed bill setting a daily time limit on child social media accounts.
You're watching WTKR News 3, part of the Scripps News Group.